Today I would like to introduce you to a new friend. His name is Sanguine. He is a post-90s forensic doctor who specializes in handling major malignant cases. In the official explanation, major malignant cases refer to cases where multiple people die, or the scene is particularly bloody, or the impact is particularly bad. In Sanguine's words, each one is more terrifying than killing and dismembering, or facing corpses. He gave himself this name, derived from his unique skill. He can smell the scent of human blood with his nose. In 2021, Sanguine took over a child abuse case. The body was dumped in the deep mountains and old forests, and all the suspects that could be found were eliminated one by one. Sanguine relied on his blood-smelling skill to confirm the scene of the crime and lock the real culprit. Unexpectedly, even though he did such a cruel thing, the murderer was not a completely wicked person. This is a cruel story, but Sanguine has a reason that he has to record. He hopes that more people can pay attention to why such a cruel story happened. After all, only by understanding the cause of the tragedy, we have a chance to stop it before it starts. Being a forensic doctor, I have a lot of things that bother me, such as cases with peculiar smells, shapes, and so on, such as cases that make me work overtime. There is only one kind of case that I hate, no matter what time, what smell, what shape. The dead are children. Every time I see a child lying on the autopsy table, I wonder, how can such a little guy do anything to be sent to me? The case in August 2021 was the most annoying one: overtime, summer, children. That day, I stood in front of the 1.2-meter deep pit for a long time without saying a word. It was raining, the ground was full of mud, maggots, the scene and the body were destroyed, but I could see the scars on her body clearly. Being a forensic doctor is too hard. There are so many people at the scene, but the child seemed to say to me, only to me, this is a torture. When we arrived at Sanguine, it was after 4 in the afternoon. When we left it was sunny. When we got to the scene, the sky suddenly darkened, and it started to rain a little. There was a faint smell of blood in the air. The closer we got to the river, the stronger the smell. I complained as I walked on the muddy field ridges towards the scene, then I fell silent. In the middle of the open space surrounded by the police, there were a few small signs marking the position of the body. The body had not been completely dug out, only a hand could be seen, stretching out of the ground, as if to grab something. The riverside was damp, the body had already shown giantism. It was hard to tell what the hand looked like. But a forensic doctor could tell at a glance that it was a child's hand, no more than 15 years old. 2 policemen dug for a while and vomited for a while. After 10 minutes, they gradually saw the top of the child's head. Her hair should have been a pigtail, but now only a little rubber band hung on the end of her hair. The rubber band had a flower decoration, soaked in blood, turned black. The girl sat in the dirt with her knees bent, one hand raised, one hand clenched in her abdomen. The policemen tried to lift her out of the pit. 2 of them held her left and right arms, one held her lower body. The girl swayed in their hands, like a rag doll. The key was that her head leaned back directly. I shouted to be careful, reached out and held it. Her head rolled left and right in my palm. Neck bone fracture, for sure. It was also at this moment that I saw her face clearly. That couldn't be called a face at all. The entire right half of her head, from her eye to her cheekbone, was completely rotten into a black hole, most likely a pre-mortem injury. That was not just torture, it was definitely a grudge. There was a kind of extreme hatred in the hollow eye socket, like a bunch of eyes shooting at me. As they moved, the girl's raised hand fell down, pointing to her own body. A policeman next to me shouted, "There's another one." Damn. 2 victims.